Good morning, afternoon, Transtastic. It is Saturday. My name is Kai. I've had a very long day. I had to have a work call from 4:30 or 9:30 in the morning to 4:30. We're building a set and working on a musical. It is our end of the year musical, and the musical we're doing is Crazy for You at my school. So that's what I'm currently working on project-wise, as well as doing a bunch of other smaller projects, such as a zoo exhibit. I'm working on a short film, and then I have to do a creative piece modeled after the book Beautiful Music for Ugly Children, the book that I talked about in our video on what books we were reading. Anyway, so this week's topic is not about books. This week's topic is about accepting our bodies and our relationships to our bodies. And I really like this topic. I think it's interesting, especially because everyone relates to their body in different ways. And I think that for trans people, we have a different view of our bodies than some people, but it's also very individual to the person. So I'm only going to really be speaking from my personal experiences, but I also want to tell you about how I was able to get over my dysphoria and a few tips it's not really tips, I want to share with you my story and maybe it can help you with dealing with your own personal body insecurities. So, to start off, as far as describing the relationship I feel like I have to my body, I used to have a lot of negative feelings towards my body, and to be honest, they still haven't gone away. I feel like when you grow up in a world that teaches you to be so critical of yourself, you're never fully going to erase how you view yourself through the lens of how you think people want to see you. So I can't say that anyone's ever going to eradicate any kind of self-consciousness or any kind of body negativity, but there are many things you can do to ease it. And I used to have a lot of problems with my body accepting it because I was seeing my body through such a cis-perspective, and I felt like in order to be a man I had to look a certain way physically, and that became the first thing I cared about when I came out. I spent all my time just focusing on my body. How can I make it look more manly? How can I make it look more masculine? And it started to really take a toll on my mental health because all I was doing was trying to fix myself in a way. And I just got to the point where I didn't want to leave the house because I didn't feel like my chest was binded enough. And I just had a lot of problem functioning when constantly trying to pay attention to how my body looked. And then when people would misgender me, I would also relate that back to maybe I'm doing something wrong with passing. And the best thing I think I did for myself was to be able to overcome cis-normative views on bodies, and it has been such a freeing experience to be able to learn that my body is male regardless of how people dictate a male looks. Also, I learned that with accepting my body, and I know it's not always great to depend on other people, but when I started dating my girlfriend Aiden, I learned how to become very, very physically comfortable with her, which is something I hadn't experienced before in a relationship. I was always super uncomfortable, and just being able, because she has never made me feel uncomfortable, being able to be around her, it helped me so much with accepting my body, because she just never saw me as female, and I was always really insecure that she was not going to see me as male, but that never happened, and she always saw my body as being male, which helped me to learn that it is possible for people to not perceive me through a cis viewpoint. If that made any sense. I think it made sense to me. It might have not made sense to you. So as far as giving advice on body acceptance, that's hard to do because everyone sees and feels different ways about their bodies. But since I get so many messages from people talking to me about their dysphoria and how they can't handle their dysphoria and like asking me what to do about it, I can only really give one piece of advice. And I'm not going to give the advice of it gets better or the more aggravating advice that cis people always want to tell us, which is just accept yourself. Your body is beautiful. Just accept yourself, because they don't understand that it's not usually like entirely about acceptance. It's about it's very hard to explain, and really, if you've had the trans experience, you can really understand it. My advice is do your very best to try and not perceive your body through a cis lens. That's going to help you so much if you are just able to break down it's so hard to do because we are taught since we are young that certain aspects of a body dictate whether they're male or female. But if you can start retraining your brain to see bodies in a different way and not through a cis viewpoint, it's going to help you feel so much better about yourself. And it bothers me that so many people have trouble with that, because if you think about it, if we're pretty much just enabling a lot of the transphobia that goes on by telling cis people that how they've dictated what male and female should look like is correct, and we're trying to live up to their standards. And I say, screw that. We don't have to live up to their standards. We should all be able to be who we are, and our bodies do not dictate that. So if you are able to just tell yourself that your body in its current state is male or female or genderqueer or however you identify, it's going to help you so much. And hey, there might be things that you want differently about your body. And I know how it is to have like cis envy, because I want a flat chest, for example. But at the same time, even though I really want a flat chest and would feel better about myself if I had that, I can also currently accept my body, and even in small ways, like I'm able to take a shower without freaking out, because I used to have problems with being naked. Now I don't mind it because I've been able to retrain my brain and realize that my chest is not female or feminine. It is male, it is masculine, it is my chest. And just because it looks a certain way does not mean anything about who I am. And that's been the most liberating lesson that I've learned, is to stop comparing myself through like a cis mirror. Because when I looked in the mirror, I used to try and see a cis person's body, and I don't care about that anymore. I'm not that. I am a trans person. My body is a little bit different, but that doesn't make it any lesser or any more regular than their bodies are. So it is hard, especially because we are taught so long one lesson about ourselves. But if you can learn to slowly unbind that, I think it's going to help people a lot in self-acceptance. And as far as with anything that goes with things that make you unhappy in your life or going through dark times, you might be sinking, but if you can just keep your head just a tiny bit above water, I mean, you won't drown. That's what I've learned, that even like when you're fighting as much as you can and you're like left with weapons, you're out of weapons to fight with, if you just keep going just a little bit, and you even like putting a smile on your face when you have no reason to smile, and just pretend like not, like even like the little things, I think that you can push through whatever you're going through. And I mean, I've learned that our community, like our trans community, is so insanely strong. The stories I've heard from people and the fact that they're still here and they keep going is just so incredible to me. And I just think that this is a really beautiful community of people. And so I would like to say, we are beautiful people. We have beautiful bodies. We need to start accepting our bodies for who we want to make them and not what other people say that they should be. And that concludes my feelings on relationships with my own body and relationships with trans bodies in general. I hope to expand on this topic more, maybe on my personal channel, just because I think it's a very fascinating topic as far as our perception of bodies. And that is all for me today. Please subscribe to FTM Transtastic. Check out all the other guys on this channel because they are lovely. I make videos every Saturday, except for the days that I'm stranded on Jupiter, holding a little sign, hoping for help. But yeah, I make videos on Saturday, and give this video a thumbs up or a like if you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you guys. Bye.